And so I came to Boston College. After about 24 hours of struggling after I was offered the job, I arrived. And about 2 months later, I was with my colleagues in the Student Affairs office, and we had the opportunity to go to Manresa House and to sit and have this lovely conversation with, at that time, the rector of the Jesuits, whose name was Father Bill Barry. Amazing man. I didn't know it at the time, but an amazing man. So he's sitting there and he's telling us about Ignatius and how he fought the battles and how he got wounded and how he was laid up for a while and God this and blah, 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 and God that and blah, 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 and God, God, God. And I sat there and I was so completely stressed out. My palms were sweating. I just was tense. And he asked, he said, does anyone have any questions? And I just thought to myself, stuff it, Mayor, just sit on your hands, don't say a word. And then he continued on, and finally I just couldn't not say something. And so I raised my hand politely, he called on me, and I looked at him and I said, can you please, I said, I have to tell you, I'm getting a lot of anxiety because you're saying the word God so much, and I'm wondering if you could call it a different name because I am really having a hard time sitting here. And as soon as it came out of my mouth, I thought, way to get yourself fired. So 2 months and 2 days into being here, maybe 3 by the time they run the papers down and then have them signed by the Director of Human Resources, I will be fired. And what I didn't realize, but I came to realize very quickly, was that it was one of those moments, those 2 paths diverge in a woods. Well, I thought I was on the one to hell to meet up with that other pastor, and I was not, because Father Bill Barry looked at me and with the most gentle eyes said to me, you know, I never really cared much for that name either. He said, you know, it's just not what I imagine when I imagine this being. He said, really, to me, I think it should be called the mystery. How are you with that name? And then after I did this, I shut my mouth because I was so taken aback. I nodded. He continued on as if nothing had happened. And for me, I continued on, never, ever, ever again having an issue with the word God.